Okay, so our first topic in our playbook here is the NBA All-Star games. So I will be the first person to admit that I thought this shit was stupid as fuck when I first heard about how they were going to do it. I mean, I got the idea. It kind of really harkens back to being on the court and, you know, they're running fives and you just kind of pick up people and you play. And I get that, but I really didn't see how that was going to fit or how it was going to be any good until I saw the teams and I was like, all right, I'm really excited. Now, obviously, that only really gets good if you have a mixture of the conferences because, well, you see the Eastern and the Western Conference play each other every year. For the people who need a little bit of a refresher, the teams are as such. LeBron, on LeBron's team is Anthony Davis, KD, Kyrie, LaMarcus, Bradley Beal, Kevin Love, Oladipo, Kristaps Porzingis, John Wall, Russell Westbrook, and I believe that Paul George just replaced DeMarcus Cousins, and I think Adam Silver actually was the one that got to choose that, not LeBron, which I guess kind of makes sense.
Can you repeat the guard from the Thunder's name again, number 0?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
What did I say?
Russell
Westbrook. And then on Steph Curry's team is Giannis, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, Al Horford, Dame, Kyle Lowry, Klay Thompson, and Karl Anthony Towns, the Cat.
Now, can we all take a moment and admit two things? One, Kevin Durant was the first pick, and 2, Al Horford was the last pick. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah, like Kevin Love was trying to, be coy. He's like, yeah, I was definitely like the last pick. I'm like, no, it was definitely Al Horford.
I think Kevin Love probably the second to last though.
Oh yeah.
Before Oladipo?
I think so.
Because you know how it went. It went LeBron picks KD, Steph picks Giannis. It had to be the first 2 picks. I don't see who else Steph could have picked without LeBron picking Giannis.
Yeah, and how much sooner it did. Like, I don't get what Steph was thinking. Like, I mean, all right, Steph definitely has shooters. Like, I'll give him that. But LeBron's team has size. And, I mean, the guys who have size can all do shit. Like,
I'm rooting for Team Steph. Anytime I get to see JoJo suited up and play alongside Steph, I'm rooting for that team 10 times out of 10.
See, I mean, the way it's looking, yeah, I think LeBron picked KD first, and then Steph picked Giannis, and I think LeBron picked Kyrie, which got Steph to pick James Harden, and then LeBron chose Anthony Davis, and then Joel Embiid, and then Cousins, and then DeMar DeRozan was the last pick.
DeMar DeRozan was definitely the last pick of the starters.
So, okay, what do you guys think about everybody's been coming out saying that the drafting of the team should have been televised?
1,000% should have been televised. But you get hurt feelings when that happens.
Yeah.
The last person, what I've been hearing a lot of and what they should have done, just like the NHL, who they do some things right. What they should have done was the last pick gets a car, which they did with the NHL. The last pick got a car. I think the first year it happened, Phil Kessel got a car, and then every year afterwards they just kept picking him last as kind of like a joke. But he got like a car every time. Granted, it was like a fucking Kia. But you still get a car, you donate it to the charity of your choice, or you keep it. I don't think these guys are really keeping Kias. And doesn't Kia have the NBA sponsorship anyways?
Yeah, they do. The picture LeBron just posted, it's like him in a Kia with like somebody's...
And you know he doesn't drive a Kia. And let me take one moment really quick before we move on. I hate LeBron. This man is the most egotistical motherfucker of all time. This guy had the nerve to congratulate himself for scoring 30,000 points before he even did it. And he also has the nerve. He's been doing this.
But
lately.
they only need like 7 points going into
Still,
that game.
He wrote a whole paragraph. You need to read it. To himself. Literally, it was to himself. And what he's been doing lately is if anybody has a good game and they're wearing LeBrons, he spins that into their good game was because of his LeBrons. He had Lou Williams. He put a picture of Lou Williams in high school wearing LeBrons. And it was like hashtag must be the kicks or something like that after Lou Williams put up like a 50-piece. And he did the same thing with someone else the other day. After they had a good game, they showed him with like LeBron's on. He was like, must be the kicks. He's doing that on his Instagram. He is the fucking worst.
I mean...
Read his post before you disagree with me. It's obnoxious.
I guess you gotta take the good with the bad, huh? I mean, but so I'm sure there will definitely be a segment on this piece. But to what you were saying about the last pick of the NHL All-Star getting a car, I was doing a little bit of research, obviously, when I was looking at the new name of the podcast, and I didn't know that there's a whole parade type shit for people who are Mr. Irrelevant.
For the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you get a parade.
It's like a whole thing. And like, so apparently, even cooler story was there was one year that the Steelers and I think like the Chargers, one had the penultimate pick and then the other had the last pick. And they wanted fanfare that came with it, so they let the pick go. And then the other team let the pick go, and then the commissioner had to like step in and say like, no, you both need to pick. And then they changed it to say, I think especially for those like last 2 picks that you can't do that. Like you have to pick when you're slotted to pick. So
Ryan Suckup right now, I think, is the most famous Mr. Irrelevant ever.
Yeah, I wanted to do a little bit more, research on it and roll out obviously it in of itself and then it as, kind of we're intending. But I don't know, that was pretty cool. But yeah, I think if they're going to televise it, they definitely got to do something like that. Like it has to be that you get some type of benefit for the shame that's going to be you being the last person selected. And
I need it to be schoolyard style. Everybody in shorts and t-shirts with headbands on, wearing like and one sneakers. All the kids lined up against the fence. And you pick one by one, and you watch everybody's face as you see people. Imagine the facial expressions we would be getting from Russell Westbrook as people were picked before him. I mean, this man already lost his coconut because he thought he was the last pick in the draft. He failed to realize that the order was alphabetical.
Oh man. But this is gonna be exciting to watch. Again, like I said, I shit on it originally, but I mean, I think I'm kind of with you that I think the teams are so unfairly kind of put together, thanks to Steph Curry.
But it's better than watching the West kick the shit out of the East every year.
Yeah, and there be no defense played whatsoever. To which I don't know that we have this as a topic, so I'll just kind of throw this in here really quickly. The Pro Bowl today, I was just watching that, and number one, I didn't realize, I guess part of their whole ploy in trying to get it to be something is there's like money in everybody's like contract for winning. And then you saw, so like the whole thing was like flag football, and then at the end they were legit like trying to hold on to the win there.
The fact that we are starting this podcast, we're trying to get listeners, but we're going to force them to listen to 35 seconds of Pro Bowl talk is disappointing me. No one gives a shit about that game. I haven't watched it in about 5 years.
Well, they moved it to Orlando because it's so bad.
How don't you have the longest field goal contest? How don't you do that?
There's so many like different skills and stuff that they can do that they're trying.
They play fucking dodgeball. No one wants to see
them
play
Graham
dodgeball.
And Jarvis Landry like at the end of the dodgeball thing. That's the only piece of it I caught. But yeah, it's I don't know. They need to. I get having it, but it's bad.